Good evening, fellow punters. Mickey D back with you here on Friday evening, exactly 18:30, 6:30 in the west of Ireland. Just to go through the card tomorrow in Cheltenham, and I have two selections elsewhere. Not too bad of a day today. We had a couple of winners and two very good chases. Amarillo Sky, apart from one little slight blunder, jumped very well from the front and got the job done. There's nothing better than when you're halfway up the hill in Cheltenham and you look like you're going to be collared and the horse in front pulls out a little bit more. And it was the same in the race, the other chase with, I can't even remember the name. My mind isn't great these days. I made a few boo-boos last night, but pass no heed. That's what, when you have a cognitive illness like mine, that's what can happen. You say the wrong thing. As I've said several times, I'd make a bad witness for the prosecution. I'd say the wrong thing if I went up in the box. I can't even think of the name of the horse, but jumped well anyway. The one in Gordon Elliott in the first race didn't look fit. I thought it did show better from being off so long. It was last July since it ran. And Johnny got to the first, and young Mullins was on his hole. He'll remember that. That's his first ride in England, I think. But anyway, we had a winner last night in Chelmsford, and a good winner too. We'll watch that. That'll come again for us. And the two yesterday, for the life of me, the night before, I'd say there's no possible way that these will be out of the first three. Where did they finish? Two of them finished fourth. Jumping errors and not trying in the last one. But anyway, I will plough on to tomorrow. That was a good winner of Paul Nichols's today. It showed a good turn of foot from a front runner. The first race tomorrow is the 12:35. It's the juvenile trial. There's 10 declared, 4 favourites in the last 10 years. It was won last year by Knight Salute. A few good horses have won this, All Mankind, Defi de Sol and Apple Shakira in the past few years. There's been only one Irish winner in the past 13 years. Scriptwriter is the best of the horses that ran on the flat. It was rated 102 with Aidan O'Brien. Where'll I go down? It's with Milton Harris now. That's Parasusus Way. That used to be with Charlie Appleby, I think, 3 runs, and it was with Owen Burrows. It makes its first run first start for Gary Moore. He does well with those juveniles. Blue King Duro is a newcomer from France for Paul Nichols. But I was looking at the videos of his runs in France, and it hasn't a turn of foot like the one today. There's an interesting one there, Mr. Freedom for Sheena West. It was rated only 57 on the flat for Mick Channon. But it has won 3 out of 5 over hurls, and that could have been 4 out of 5. It's rated 120, but the last time it was coming to win its race, I thought the race that the top one there, number 1, Medjaf, won. But it ran out. It sort of got bumped by a horse and it got a bit spooked. And I thought that should have an each-way shot if anyone wanted to back it at 6-1 or 13-2. War correspondent for Ray Cody won the first time out over jumps in Punchestown. It was rated 77 on the flat, but only for the winner or the second made a howler of a mistake at the last. It mightn't have won. But I was sort of impressed by Scriptwriter, the late one in Hedgefield, and it jinked coming to the last. But when it straightened itself up, Paddy Brennan got a good tune out of it, and I thought that might be the one in the first race tomorrow. But if anyone wanted an each-way play, Too Freedom would be. I wouldn't be far Nichols's horse now tomorrow. The 110 an amateur jockey's chase. 14 declared, only 2 runners of this, I think. 9-4 favourite last year and 5-1 the year before, and both of them are 7-year-olds. And I thought that Valsheda for Nicky Henderson, it's out of Milan. It's likely raced only 5 times. It won. It ran in 3 chases. It fell in the water first time, and it was second into Killer Kane, and Killer Kane is now rated 130, and it put in a good effort last March in Foss last when it won. And Nicky Henderson in the last 21 days, he out of 27 runners, he has 8 winners and 8 placed horses. So I thought he was the one to be on there, and that it so happens he 7-2 and 133-1 is the prices. The man that owns that, he doesn't have too many bad jokes, to be honest now. The 145 is the novice's chase. Montmoral was pulled out in the last hour. 7 of the last 14 favourites won, and 6 of those 7 were odds on. Third Time Lucky won it last year, and Eldorado Allen won it the year before. Banbridge and Sole Pretender run for Ireland. Banbridge won the Martin Pipe, and I thought he might need further than this. It's just 2 miles. Tommy's Oscar is my selection. It was rated 156 over hurls. It won 5 in a row before it ran, and after not winning its first run last year, it won 5 in a row, and then it ran in the champion hurl. But it got all spooked up prior to the race starting, and they're trying different tactics. I read tomorrow she's bringing it. She reckoned that there was such a big field, and they were coming back in when that horse was going out of his box down into the parade ring, that it's rough and mental, and that they're going to bring him down tomorrow before the other horses are finished. So he jumped well the first time. He's 1 for 1 over jumps, but it's only a 2-horse race, which is a great finish. He got £17 to Geronimo, and Geronimo's a decent yardstick. They were supposed to run it in Carlisle the other day, but it's called off, so they had to reroute it to this. So I think that the distance of that will suit him more so than Banbridge. So I'd be on Tommy's Oscar in that race. The 220 then is the big race. I've covered that already. My choice was Galahad Quest last night. It was 11s and 10s at the time. I backed at 14s of the race. He's in there to 8s and 9s now. There is money as well for Happy Go Lucky. I think it's 14s into 9s. So that's good to see that the more sort of fancy it. On to the 255. There's a handicap hurl. 13 declared, 3 miles. 2 favourites in the last 10 years, and they were 6-4 and 13-8, and there was 2 9-2 winners, and all the other ones then were long shots. The oldest horse to win this in the last 14 years, there was 2 8-year-olds, and 9 of 14 were either a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. Sporting John won it last year. He was top weight, and 11 of the 14 winners of 11 of the last 40 winners were under 11 stone. So you have to be sort of nicely handicapped and down a bit in the weights. My choice in this race is number 10, Fontana Elissi, for Sam Drinkwater, and Robert Dunn is riding it. It's rated 116. It's up £3 for finishing a closing second to Seddon at Cheltenham over 2.5. But a lot went wrong. He was way back at the back of the field that day, and he was in the middle of the field then, we'll say a mile out. And he got impeded coming to the last. He ran up the rear end of a horse, but he ran on very well up the hill. That was over 2.5, and it suggested that the extra distance would suit. Big strapping horse, big scopy sort. But he's rated 116 now, but he won in August 2021. He won off 123 when he was with Nigel Twiston Davis as well. That distance was 2.5. But as I said, the way he finished the last day would suggest that extra distance, and he's a 12-1 shot. Yeah, 12's most of the places, and they're paying 4 places in a lot of the, most of the books they're paying 4 places. The 330 is an intermediate hurl. 3 favourites in the last 10 years, 14 declared. A horse older than 6 won it last in 2007. That was Mindo, a 7-year-old for Noel Chance. And a 4-year-old won it in 2018. And all the other winners since way back, since 2007 anyway, has been either a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. A lot revolves around Unanswered. There's a lot of money for it, but I don't know is it well handicapped enough. I think Tony Merton is 0 for 7 in the UK in the last 2 years. He had a good strike rate prior to that, but he needs to come late. He lost a couple of races in Galway on the flat when they were trying to deliver him late. And if the Hillings in Cheltenham will suit if they're trying to do that. But I thought Wiseguy, there's a lot of them, isn't there? It's owned by John Magnier and Paul Shanahan. It's lightly raced. It's only 3 runs. It's out of Fame and Glory, King's Theatre and Mayor. It won a bumper first time out. It beat that good horse Hillcrest, who's now rated 148. I'm not saying this one is going to be as good, but it's a looked a backward sort of a type, a big chasing sort, and they didn't rush it. That was in a bumper, and then it was third in a hurdle race over an inadequate trip. It was 2 miles won, and then it won nearly a year ago at 3 miles in and a half furlong in Doncaster. I thought the uphill finish, and if he's fit enough tomorrow, and I imagine he would be, Henderson, as I said, is going all right, that would be a better option than the favourite Unanswered, because you don't know what's going to happen. And then we have the bumper, a listed bumper. It was won by a 4-year-old 4 of the last 5 years. I think 11 of the 19 this year, or 11 of the 17 are 4-year-olds actually. The rest of them are 5-year-olds. 3 favourites in the last 9 years. Queen's Gamble. I was very impressed with that when it won over the course for last March. And it didn't look like a 4-year-old. It looked actually bigger. It looked like a 5-year-old, a well-built horse out of Getaway for Ollie Sherwood, and Johnny Burke is riding it. It won by 10 lengths. It powered away. Now, I know this won't be as simple tomorrow because you have that Lucia and the horse that won it last year actually is running as well. Bonte. But I'm on Queen's Gamble. Now, there's 2 horses elsewhere. Both of them run at Wetherby. That number 3 horse there, Onagatheringstorm, for Fergal O'Brien. This will be a second run back after wind surgery. But if the last time it ran was in Cheltenham, it was 3rd to Seddon that I've spoke about already. And behind it, but we were looking at the one that was second. I thought that was a good run. It was the first run after wind surgery. And I thought that at the price there would be worth a pint each way. At 5 to 1. I forget what I was going to say about it. I can't find it on my notepad. And then in the where are we here? The 303. It's a handicap hurl as well. There's a horse there, Too Friendly. This was 5th in the Boodles for the Skeltons. Skelton has a great record in